teknologiari esker, adineko jendearen bizitza, erresten eta hobetzen ari diren herri txiki honetan, gainera herri txiki baten aldarrikapena egin nahi duzu, ezta? Aitor Abecia, zurea da hitza. Aitor Abecia, alcalde de Zambrana. Adelante.
Bueno, eso. Bueno, guztioi. Con mi compañero se ha comido la primera parte de la segunda. Ahí me queda el tiempo de descuento.
I've only got a few minutes left because my colleague spoke for longer than we all expected. But I'll be very brief. Zambrana is a municipality with 450 inhabitants. It's to the south of Álava. We are very small and we're very dispersed. And I was here to do away with many myths. And when we talk about a friendly city, it's something I don't like because it excludes us people that do not live in a city. I'd prefer to talk about friendly communities. And especially when we talk about active aging, our mind takes us to big cities and we forget about the countryside or the rural areas. So our project is all about aging, but that doesn't mean that you have to lose quality of life. What we saw, well, we are in a legal framework where we have the law on social services of Spain, and there we also had the decree that gave us an opportunity. It's a universal right to receive social services. But what we saw also is that there were users in our municipalities that were left outside that umbrella. And it was those citizens that had a 0 degree of dependence, and they required institutional help, but they were not covered by this legal framework umbrella. And that made us look into our citizens, so we took a target population. In other words, all the people over 65 years of age in Zambrana, it's older people mostly. In other words, youngsters of yesteryear. You have to be very positive in your terminology. So we tested all of these individuals, about 60% of them. And the picture, the snapshot, is what you can see in this chart. And in this chart, what we did was analyze 16 parameters of frailness factors. On the right-hand side, you can see that we have the services that were covered by, the benefits, nursing centers, home services, and those dots in the middle are our tested citizens. And as you can see, when they have a moderate degree of frailness, they access to the services that are offered by the decree. But what about those dots that are left outside the universal and subjective rights? What happens to those people when they're frail? Well, we had to work with them with an active policy that was very tailor-made in order to implement preventive actions and also to save in resources that were much more costly, like nursing homes or benefits. I can see Mariano saying yes to all of this. But anyway, and with this, we move into a world of competences, because you know that there are municipal competences or provincial council competences. I think that we have to separate these things, and we have to have a very clear framework. We have to work on prevention policies, on real active aging policies, tailor-made policies, and we are very reactive. Well, I thought that we were being very reactive in what has to do with me, with the political side of things. We spoke about financial muscle to implement these aging policies, but we arrived very late when the situation was very bad, when there was lots of personal drama involved. And this is why we thought that what we had to do is get out of our comfort zone, get out of the town council, and speak to the citizens before they come to us looking for solutions to their drama. And this meant that we created a multidisciplinary group where we had the family doctor of the village, the social worker, to go with a political agent and the cultural expert. So it's a multidisciplinary team that addressed all of these issues. And I'm not going to say that this was an easy exercise, because you know that politicians stay in their comfort zone and the doctors also stay in their comfort zone, but they're very good at prevention. And the social worker says, no, we have some wonderful policies. But anyway, we must try to prevent any further degeneration from happening. So each one from our comfort zone had to set up a multidisciplinary group, and altogether what we had to do is set up personalized policies that operate in the field of prevention in our municipality. And I wanted to show you a video, as I don't want to speak to very much. The video, I think, is self-explanatory. Could you please play the video?
Sí, muy constantes. Al final eso, llevamos casi 2 años y hay gente que no ha fallado una semana.
But the soundtrack is missing. Oh, no. No, you've gone too far forward, rather.
Nos reunimos mensualmente para valorar las fichas que nos pasan las profesiones.
Sorry, sound has been cut off all of a sudden.
Envejecer no es sinónimo de perder de vida. Nosotros nos ubicamos en el sur de Araba. La población es tremendamente envejecida. Como el mayor síntoma del medio rural alavés es que tenemos la pirámide demográfica invertida. Vamos a crear un escenario en el que la administración se adelante a los acontecimientos, pasemos de ser reactivos a ser proactivos, a predecir lo que pueda pasar.
Casilda, ¿te apetece apuntarte a este programa?
Sí. Yo todo lo que me diga el alcalde lo haré.
Vamos a intentar que esa ciudadanía en situación prefrágil no se vuelvan con el tiempo frágiles.
Dicen que bueno, es duro, pero yo lo voy a hacer,
pero
lo voy a seguir intentando. Sí, muy constantes. Al final eso, llevamos casi 2 años y hay gente que no ha fallado una semana.
Nos reunimos mensualmente para valorar las fichas que nos pasan las profesionales de los talleres, viendo así la asistencia de los participantes, viendo cuáles han sido las cosas más significativas que ya se han visto de cada uno de ellos, y en base a eso pues vamos haciendo modificaciones o valorando qué va necesitando cada paciente.
Well, the guidelines we work on an in-person basis were the following. Venue, and we saw that there was a problem in the rural setting that especially was even more relevant in winter. There was lots of social isolation, and this had lots of medical implications. Antidepressants, that was one of the most prescribed drugs for those couples that had lost their spouse or their spouses. And we were concerned about that, because in summer the social panorama is much better, because you can go into your vegetable garden, you can go up into the hills and pick mushrooms, but when winter comes along the days become shorter, and there's a much higher degree of social isolation. It's cold and we go home or we stay at home, and this created a very powerful social isolation. So this is why we have this program that is a meeting point, and it's a space where the elderly people are who make the contribution and not the town council. And this meeting point is dynamized by one of the local agents, and well, this is where our youngsters of yesteryear become the main protagonists, and they are the ones that design a tourism program, and they show their heritage to the rest of the citizens. They are our local guides, and we wanted to develop a program to present Zambrana and the surrounding areas, so that these senior citizens can teach us younger people what the place is like. And then we have another program which has to do with population sensors. In other words, we give them a tool with a geolocation device, and they go out for a walk with it, and they come back to the town council. Well, look, there's a litter bin that is broken, and well, they send us the coordinates so that we can do something about it at the town council. And well, this was done on Tuesdays and Fridays. And then we have the part that has to do with physical stimulation. And all of those that form part of this program, what we do is make a customized assessment. I said, well, forget about maintenance, gymnastics. We are working with a physical training coach together with doctors. And what we do, we provide gymnastics. We also call that gymnastics, but we are really working on customized physical stimulation. Each one has their own file, and they follow physical patterns that are tested every year and are corrected every year too. We have very gratifying experiences. There was a man, for instance, who let go of his walking aid after 2 years of physical stimulation. And then we have the cognitive side of things, which is what I call is the memory workshop, because nobody likes to forget things, and that happens to me, and I'm 42, and nobody wants to be reminded that they're losing something, that we have to train the muscle, the brain. In other words, we work with a neuropsychologist, and what they do is, at the beginning, there was a group feedback, but what we noticed is that in that group feedback, the differences in terms of cognitive skills made them feel ashamed. So we then moved on to an individualized approach within the group, and in the final part of the session, it's a joint session where we share experiences. In other words, it's a social neuropsychological part. And this was done in person. So all of this, the pandemic came along and destroyed everything, and we had to adapt. And it's called Lagun Ikusiseña, which means invisible friend in Spanish. Well, we couldn't do this in person. We couldn't do physical stimulation in person, and neither could we do cognitive stimulation. So what do we have to do? We have to adapt a technology to senior citizens. I'm here to defend or say something about the digital gap. I don't believe in the digital gap. It's something that we youngsters have invented to not provide our senior citizens with technology. You've seen Gasilda in the video, and she has a Skype account that is called Modern Grandmother. She's 92. And while she connects with Skype with the mayor of Zambrana, she calls me via Skype, and she appears on screen and says, "How are you, Gasilda?" "Well, I need such and such drugs." And she's the modern grandmother, aged 92. She has a Telegram account. I don't have one. Well, I have one now, thanks to her. And what do we have to do to incorporate technology at people's homes? Technology has to be invisible, because if not, they find that the mouse is very difficult to use. And what we do is use a program that has already been designed, which is Alexa, everybody knows, from Amazon. And we provide them with a tablet with audio, and that shows us the habits of each user. If you do not connect with Alexa in the morning, the social worker then issues alerts, because we are all very traditional. We get up at more or less at the same time of day. We connect with Alexa at a similar time. So they say good morning, and they ask for whatever they want. It could be the weather or news online, the weather in Zambrana. So this communication with Alexa is a friend, Alexa is a colleague, and Alexa is somebody that is compiling the daily habits of somebody. If somebody doesn't communicate with Alexa in a day, something's going wrong at that home. So this gives us feedback, and it sends an alert to the system we have at the town council. But then this system is very extensive, because you can also communicate with the family doctor via Skype or with a social worker. And we even include a weekly agenda of the town council activities that they like, and we even remind them about their drugs. And through Alexa, we can send them an agenda, and we tell, I don't know, Mr. Amancio, look, at 2 o'clock you have to take your blood pressure pill. Yes, that small blue pill you have. And now we are in a stage in which we want Alexa to identify pills or tablets. But then the most important thing is that all programs are delivered online, and they are not able of connecting with YouTube to see these active aging programs that we're providing virtually. But through a program that is connected to Alexa, they're reminded that they have gymnastics at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And that tablet automatically provides the exercises, and they do exercise, and you can't imagine how intense they are. And then, well, a voice can be heard, and at 4 o'clock it said, look, get your tomato cans and your Tetrabricks and do gymnastics or exercises at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And this is also connected to a program called Naya, and we provide cognitive stimulation. And we provide cognitive stimulation with the tablet, but the tablet provides us with a lot of information. It gives us information on response times, on how they've progressed or how they've not progressed. So this is information that we're using via big data. And I don't want to say much more. Thank you very much. And that's all from me. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Aitor. Thank you very much for your very